All right, let's call this meeting to order. Let's do a roll call. Member Colton.
Here.
Member Gaudette.
Here.
Member Janetti.
Here.
Member Lutz.
Here.
Member Brannon.
Here.
Member Mamie.
Here.
Alternate Sermonti.
Here.
Alternate Baxi.
Here.
Oh my goodness, is it the first
Oh, the whole
full
family.
EC that we've had in like months? All right.
What kind of order is that listed? It's not alphabetical. It's not by seniority.
Well, Norm, be quiet.
This is not your meeting, Norm. Sorry.
All right, statement of compliance.
Should this be February?
It should be February. But
I'm sorry. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Oh, that's your hand.
All right, statement of compliance with the Open Public Meetings Law. The notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Law for this meeting have been satisfied. A copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press, the Coaster, posted in Town Hall, and filed in the office of the Township Clerk on June 28th, 2024. All right, welcome.
We have the recording statement.
Hmm?
The recording statement.
Oh, and this meeting is being recorded for later viewing on the Township of Ocean's YouTube channel. If you really want to watch it, it is there
Thank you.
How the
for
ratings.
you. They're really bad. They're not good.
Only when I have insomnia.
I mean, I hear people go back and watch the planning board meetings because, you know, they just can't get enough of me, but ours just not do as well. All right. Anyways. All right, old business. Our EC website.
No update.
No updates. Our stormwater ordinance. I don't think there's an update other than the town had to comply with the new state regs, but I think that was a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So it's rolling along. Brookside project. Mary, any updates? Mary? Okay, well, we can come back to Mary. Community energy plan. So at our last meeting, we discussed that the community energy plan grant we received and that they were having regular meetings on, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesdays at 10 a.m. that I could not attend, and that once the next meeting got out, we had some volunteers who would go to those meetings to represent the Environmental Commission. And I'm very sad to tell you that there have been no meetings since then. There will be in the near future. There were some hang-ups in how the money was getting doled out, and the state was not paying the town, and the town was not interested in doing work they weren't getting paid for, so no meetings. But apparently, allegedly, the issue has been resolved, and the town will now be getting the money, so the meetings will continue, and then once they are, I will share the information and folks can go. So we're just hanging out. But it's not just us. It's not an ocean thing. It is in everyone. It's a state thing.
So you'll let us know when the meetings are?
Yes.
If and when they're.
Yes, once they're rescheduled, but they haven't been scheduled. Recycling contest. So last we left our discussion on the recycling contest, there were going to be some external meetings to be had with some volunteers. And as I understand it, those meetings have not yet occurred. So, Donna, you asked to be fired a minute ago. I have a better punishment in mind. I would like to propose to this body that we have a special meeting of the Environmental Commission, a workshop meeting, just to finish the contest. We need to get it done, and we need to have had some of these discussions and get done. And I understand everyone's been sick. There's been a lot going on with the end of the year and just January that never seemed to end. So I'd like to propose a special meeting to get this done towards the end of February, if that works for folks. Do we want to check our calendars now and find some dates that could work? This is going to be workshop meeting, so Donna, I would like you there, but if memory serves for a workshop, it is not 100% explicitly required. Norm, when we were doing the workshops last time, we didn't have to do that one. Yeah. So, so let's look at some dates.
But when there's a workshop meeting, are there minutes?
I don't remember.
I mean, I don't know that we ever put out anything this evening.
Honest
We
to
reported
goodness.
on it at our next meeting.
Right, I know that we had to make it public, like we had a notice for it, but. Well, thank you, Donna, for the copy of the ACLU's brief on the Sunshine Law here in New Jersey. I know that we have to notice it. I don't know. When an urgent matter arises.
Does the council publish minutes of their workshop meeting?
Yes, they do.
Why don't we pick the dates and we can
Yeah.
figure out
Yeah. Let's. Good call, Steve.
2 weeks from tonight?
So what is that? The 20th?
I propose 6 PM.
Yeah, we can do it earlier.
Yeah.
We do not have to wait
Yeah.
until 8
Okay.
p.m. We can do it at another time. We can be very flexible on this. I assume that evenings work best for everyone. Yeah, 6 p.m. seemed to be a.
Anything but 8.
I won't be able to be there that day, but if that works for everybody else.
Well, we can. We got the 19th, we got the 20th, we have the 24th, 25th. I mean, anytime that next week looks open. Does anyone have any other dates that really don't work? Because if that is the only date that's not working right now, we can definitely move it.
Yeah, 26th on, I'm gonna be gone.
All right. What about the 25th? The 19th or the 25th? That gives us enough time to have some meetings, but still get it done.
Either one's fine for me.
I'm good either one.
25th?
Either one.
25th, going once? Going twice? All right, Donna,
At 6?
6 p.m. Location to be determined based on what's available somewhere in the town hall complex. It may not be this room. It may be downstairs. It may be in the manager's meeting room. I prefer not. We met in the kitchen that one time. Do you remember that? That was not. That did not work. That was a bad meeting. Someone's old pizza was there. That was yeah. Okay.
6 p.m.?
6 p.m. on the 25th. Location to be determined. Donna will send out the information. And Donna, we'll talk with Jesse and figure out.
If you need me, I'll be here.
I always need you there, Donna. What would I do without you? You keep these meetings running for me.
Barely.
Okay.
An hour?
Yeah, we'll start with an hour. All right, 6 p.m. Yeah. Workshop. Okay. So, Donna, would it be, oh, Mary, are you there? Can you give us an update on Brookside? I can't hear you.
I don't have any sound and she's not muted.
Hold on, we can't hear you, Mary.
You're not muted, Billy.
No,
No, it's on our end.
now she is. Now she is. I just, wait a minute.
Wait.
No, come on. She's unmuted.
You can't hear you. You can hear us? Yeah, okay. Nothing? No updates?
Can you chat with her? Can you, yeah.
First, before we try to figure out how to get you up and running, do you have anything to report? Yes, do you have anything to report, if you could speak?
You want to chat with her? To send her a chat?
Ask her if she can get all in.
Oh, what is the number to call in? Hold on. We're in old school.
They don't call a cell.
Look out, it's gonna blow.
Sorry, not a skill I learned.
If she doesn't have anything to report, I think she's typing. Send a type a message.
Maybe if you send her a message, she'll chat
I'm
back.
trying to do that right now. No, she's not. She's not muted.
Give her the phone number, she's got her phone handy. Calls work pretty good.
8675309. All right, some people got that.
You're on a roll tonight, Ed, you're on a roll.
They said millions of people call that.
Can you
All the
type in the chat, Mary? Type a message in the chat.
I don't know how to do that. I can see that from here.
You touch the screen, it'll bring up the, oh, maybe, this is Google's, I mean.
All right, Mary, do you want to just call my cell phone? You have my cell phone, right? Call my cell phone. Oh.
Whoa, wow.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I would have shut my laptop by now.
Yeah, I would have lost it.
All right. So I don't know, Mary. Do you want? Can you send an email to Donna and then we can read it out? Is that an option? It's not the best option, but what we'll go for.
That's what we gotta do.
Okay. All right. So Mary, while you do that, we do have a piece of new business that came in today. Speaking of emails, and I'm going to read this one to you all because it is not something that I have encountered yet. It is an email from, I'm going to botch this last name and I already apologize. So Kara Griesbach and Chris Chambers, they wrote, they are residents of the Township of Ocean, live 247 Howard Ave, and would like to bring to our attention the Environmental Commission's a serious environmental concern we've been experienced caused by house renovations in our neighborhood. Here's the problem as exemplified by the renovations of a house directly across the street from us, and a similar process down the street. Both original houses were completely demolished above ground level and new builds implemented. The houses advanced through the rebuild over the last 6 months. The house is currently in the process of installing EIFS siding and synthetic stucco on the exterior, which, huh? IFIS. I don't.
Exterior installation finish system.
Jack said.
Gesundheit.
We are horrified by the amount of particulate polystyrene particles that are dispersed to the air and end up on multiple nearby properties when the workers rasp the styrofoam panels. It has literally been like a snowstorm at times with airborne particles settling in our yard, on our neighboring yards, on our cars, and along the curb. Our property backs up to Whale Pond Brook, south of Monmouth University. Much of the styrofoam debris, of course, washes down the storm drain, thereby polluting the brook, which dumps into the ocean a mile downstream. The builders have stated to us that they see this as a solution to the problem. Due to the non-biodegradable nature of polystyrene, it is unacceptable that the styrofoam mess will sit indefinitely in our yard, gardens, and soil, and we fear it will become a persistent contaminant negatively affecting aquatic organisms in the brook and further downstream. A week ago, we spoke with the general contractor to bring our concern to his attention. He said he'd speak to his stucco installer, but again, yesterday we experienced a snowstorm of styrofoam coming at our house. We called the construction company to complain. Generally continues of the steps that they have taken to recourse it. They've been.
I believe there isn't a law against.
They get to that. That's why I'm reading all of this to you. We have been searching online about these concerns to learn of efforts to control it. In some parts of the country, contractors are required to use measures to contain these particles as much as possible. Several methods are available. The first method applies a temporary netting barrier around the home during IFIS. Look, I'm learning, Jack. Installation. The second method uses a rasping tool to which a specialized vacuum is attached. They've included links to some of these. A third and even better solution would require that builders use a prefabricated wall system which would not require any on-site rasping in neighborhoods. Monmouth Beach successfully passed a plastic dust ordinance that contractors must follow to reduce construction waste. Although it doesn't explicitly state that it includes styrofoam debris, it mentions debris from cutting PVC, Trex, and vinyl siding, but surely this type of ordinance could easily be written to include styrofoam particles, which are probably even more of a concern due to the fact that particles easily become airborne. We'd like to know if the Environmental Commission is aware of this issue. I wasn't. And if there are any efforts to control the non-biodegradable waste that results from IFIS installation process. It's very clear when driving around town that this type of stucco finish seems to be the common siding used on many new homes. I hope that this Township of Ocean will advocate for safer construction practices to help keep our neighborhoods clean, healthy, and safe for everyone. Any information you can provide would be greatly appreciated. Anyone know anything about this? And I'm going to ask Jack does. So
So the reason IFAS is extremely popular is because there is a requirement in the building code that you have to have exterior insulation continuous around the house because of the thermal bridging of the studs, of the wood studs and the framing, where there's no like fluffy insulation in the walls. So IFAS is a way to knock out two birds with one stone. You could put these styrofoam panels up, which gives you that insulating value, and then you can put a finish on it, which is a stucco coat. So there are other methods of achieving that with other forms of finishes, like vinyl siding or, wood planks or fiber cement or whatever you can use. But as far as IFAS systems, generally they always use that styrofoam EPS.
Yeah, but I bet there are other towns and other people, I've seen people putting stuff up, and I've never seen that kind of garbage.
It's everywhere. It's every time they use that system, that's what they do. They rasp it with this tool, and it creates all these like little foam dots, little particles, and it
But they've
kind
been
of floats
said
in the wind. And
there are tools that they
everything.
can use to do it right, or they could cut these pieces before. You have to cut them after they're installed.
No, it's not
This
for
is for
cutting.
depth.
They're breaking down the finish on the front so they can put a stucco on top
So
of it.
the stucco adheres to the foam.
So it's
It's
like taking the veneer off.
I
Yeah.
got you.
Surface of it.
Right.
So you're telling me that no company would manufacture these things without that veneer on?
The solution would be to have the manufacturers create a rough surface initially. So you don't have to rasp
I
it.
bet there's places that people are doing that, and they don't want to pay
No.
the extra because.
I don't know of anything.
Because it's gotta be like this all over the country. Someone's gotta make this illegal by now.
On the beach.
The fellow headed up in Monmouth, the group that I'm in, Beyond Plastic,
Mhm.
Brian Thompson, does anyone remember him from Channel 4? He always did all the local stories. Anyway, he's retired now. He's heading that project up in Monmouth Beach, so he's the one who got the ordinance passed there. So he's working on getting this in other towns where every contractor would be forced to contain and not have it go flying around. So it is like a newer project that a lot of groups are working on.
It sounds like they should have a county law for this.
Yeah, or statewide.
Yeah.
But they try to start small per towns.
We know from
Yeah,
our
I
own
think that-
experience that most of the state laws are passed after a lot of local laws.
Yeah.
So I think we ought to go for look at Monmouth Beach's ordinances.
And this isn't covered already in our green building, any of our green building ordinances we passed for sustainable Jersey?
No. And we didn't really pass. I think we passed the resolution, but not really necessarily.
This stuff is for unsustainable Jersey.
No, it actually is for sustainable Jersey because you're making a house tighter
More efficient
and more efficient.
because you're.
The,
Well, that actually
the stuff is-
that's just a building code now. It's not even green.
right,
code.
but it does make the house more efficient.
Sure.
Rasping it off and creating the particles is a byproduct of that
Well,
technology.
it's because of the finish they decide to use because it's much less expensive to just put some stucco on.
Wanted to try to put anything up.
Then, well, if they wanted to go to another finish, they'd have to put wood slats to create an air gap, and then they have to put the siding on over it. So that's
Well, either that or use 2x6 plates to stagger your studs.
they could do that, but
Nobody
no
wants to.
contractor wants to do any of that because they're like, anything that they want to be as close to what they used to do 10 to 20 years ago as they can.
All right, so is this something that we think is worth investigating a little bit more?
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
I'm seeing some nodding. I agree. So do you want to invite Brian Thompson to come to our next meeting?
I was gonna say, I can see where they did a presentation, somebody else did it at our last meeting like 3 months ago.
Mhm.
And so let me see who did that and if it's something that they're willing to come out and,
First of all, I think this is something that should not just come to our meeting. We should invite council members to that meeting, or go to a council meeting with these people, because the next step is gonna be 6 months from now when the council suddenly says, oh, you didn't tell us about it.
Yes, which actually but jumping ahead, our council liaison resigned from council, so we do not currently have a council liaison. Jeff hasn't been sworn in yet, has he? Or,
And I thought he was sworn in on Playa Day, Monday?
Monday? Maybe?
I didn't go, I don't know.
Does anyone play a day? Okay. Anyways, we have a new council member, Jeff Weinstein, who was on the Board of Education and Planning Board, which I guess he is on neither now because he's now on council. I know that last time I spoke to the mayor, he said that he would figure out a new liaison once all that settled. So I don't know, but that's a good idea, Norm.
This thing is the kind of thing that every day this is gonna happen again. Somewhere in town.
Okay. So
Every week for sure. This is gonna be a mess. And I think it doesn't take a bunch of meetings with someone from some other town, other than to find out what the ordinance says, which we just asked for what it says, to bog the system down.
all right. So
The trick is to get this somehow evaluated and get something done about it right away. Because these guys, they're just scrubbing away.
So I have a question about this.
Mhm.
So is it for new construction or is it like, complete, like for a gut job? Or is it just like you're taking down an exterior, like a siding, and then you decide to put something else up? Like what
And
is
all
it?
of the above.
All of the above.
All of the above.
Okay, so
So
it would be an alternative to vinyl siding, you would put this thing up.
Yeah.
So it's not just for a brand new, like a Jeep house.
No,
I guess
what
it's
is-
like a style stuff, it was
Style.
like that. like
Yeah,
so-
yeah.
No, but if someone's gonna put vinyl siding, take down vinyl and put on another thing of vinyl siding, they've got all the rest of this, the infrastructure for that in place.
Right,
So that may not do this, okay?
right, they're gonna do.
But they could, because it's actually attractive, it's,
Stucco finish.
stucco
Right.
finish.
People like it.
You gotta
like
remember,
that.
in the old days, they did stucco, but they just slapped it on the wood. It was real stucco. Now it's just some crap that looks like real stucco. And it's got the styrofoam.
You're not a fan, are you?
No, I'm just saying.
No, I know, but who ultimately has to enforce this? The construction official?
yeah, I think
Code enforcement.
code enforcement.
Right. Well,
If we had a code,
but I'm wondering, you don't think there, I mean, again, I realize no one's looking, but you don't think there's anything existing? I mean, they can't have
Scattering
debris
debris across
leaving,
it.
yeah, I mean, it's,
I mean, we
it would
still
be nice to
allow.
have something specific, but it would also, there might be something general there they could already use.
I mean, it's worth it. Again, I just got this email today, so I'm running with it. So yes, absolutely, we should take a look.
we should
But-
ask the construction official.
Yeah, but knowing how some of our gaps in ordinances exist, I would not be surprised. Right? This seems like a very specific niche thing, and if we don't already
You could
have a class.
suggest that we've talked about this, we think it's a good trouble, and sick them on the construction official.
We can.
Sorry, that might not have been a good word.
All right.
From a
To
functional
record that,
Yeah.
just
standpoint,
communicate
All right.
with-
So
Don't we already have ordinances about
Construction debris.
construction debris or any debris being blown off your property into your neighbor's yard?
I mean, to me, it just, I have flashbacks to the silt fences.
well,
Well, it's
but the
similar,
silt fences are also the county level.
understood, maybe they have a role in it too, I don't know. Freehold soil, I mean,
Yeah. Well, I guess, and that's exactly what I was talking about, is because we have ordinances regarding soil leaving construction site, but we don't have, at least, I don't think we ever implemented covering piles of soil that were left out in other places, right? So like, again,
Mhm.
like just these random gaps or really specific niche scenarios, this sounds like it might be one of them. So, all right, so we'll look to see if they have them. There's council meetings with workshops on the 13th and 27th. obviously you can show up at any time as private citizens and say what you want, but I'll email Dave Brown and see if we can get on the agenda for one of them to go and talk about this issue.
They can go to the council meeting and the workshop.
They can also go to the
That'd be
council
something
meeting.
to suggest those.
Yeah. I will respond to them and let them know. But yeah, then we'll bring it up and we'll see what's what. So as soon as we learn a little bit more, we'll send an email out to the whole EC and we'll go from there. And we'll see if we can't tackle this and go somewhere. And if you can send the Monmouth Beach ordinance over, if you have a copy, yeah, and see if that works.
Can you spell the name of like IFAS again, or what is it?
EIFS.
EIFS.
Yes.
And that's an acronym, right?
Correct.
Do they have to, like you said, these were tear downs, do they have to get some kind of permits to put up new siding? Not, I understand if it was a replacing siding or something, you
No,
don't have to
it's
do
a
that.
tear down.
Well, no, I mean, I don't, it's not
It has
just
to be
for,
permitted.
you get a general building permit, not specifically for siding.
Right, but when you're doing construction, I'm just wondering if there's any data on how many houses are using this. You know what I mean? Like what kind of effect? Like, is there any way that the town knows? Does anybody have to ask the town or inform the town what type of siding they're putting in?
I don't think so.
Yeah, and if you submit, a new build, your architect includes those details, like a metal
The details
roof.
will be on there,
be
but
in-
But they don't
they're not-
track it, I don't
They're
think,
not
anyway.
tied to your building permit.
No, but
The-
you're
the plan
presenting
is
to them
tied-
that I'm
the
building a
plan
house
is
and
tied
using
to your
stucco
building permit.
siding. So,
Right, like if I were to get a fence permit, because I got a fence permit, like they want to know all the details of the fence, but the permit didn't have that. They're just like, yes, you can build a fence. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. All right, anything else on this? We'll get the ball rolling and we'll do something fun about styrofoam. All right, Mary, I have your letter here. I will read it. Is that okay? Read it? Yeah. Okay. Cannot hear you. All right. From Mary.
We're gonna have to get a lip reader here for me.
My neighbor took over dealing with the town engineer months ago, but the town has stalled on beginning the pond dredging for several years now. I think we should start on the garden plan for the other side of Brookside that doesn't back on Snell Pond. I am presently immersed in 2 family affairs which are taking all my time. When these are done, I hope to involve the garden club to get the garden planted. Okay.
Great.
All right.
So why is nothing happening? On the other side.
I do not know. That is a question for the town engineer. I think it is funding and a prioritization list. I know the Snell Pond has been on the list for a while, but so has Fireman's Pond, and so has the Lollipop Pond. Parts of it,
Thanks to that construction in, on Rose Avenue.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's happening in that, you know?
I don't know whatever happened with all the fines, and I think they were being taken to court. I don't know. I know that if you've been up there recently, it's been stabilized significantly. I mean, a little late, but
the car club?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen the videos of it, but like I took videos during that. There's just rivers, and I'm not exaggerating, just gushing mud into the street. And we tracked it because the soil was a specific color. It went all the way down into the storm sewer, which then dumped into the Wegmans retention basins. They go under 35 into the headwaters of Lollipop Pond. You could have tracked it all the way down. And we did. Don Brockle and I were out there in the rain, wandering around, sopping wet in the woods. So, good times. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So.
It may be good times, but I bet it didn't call.
I didn't call Don. Don calls me. Whenever it starts raining really hard, I get a call from Don and we go out. And it's always really depressing because there's always something going wrong somewhere in town. Okay. So we covered the new council member. We covered the new business, the email that we got. Any other new business before we move on to the rest of our agenda items? Okay. All right. So plan review, Norm.
Well, I haven't been too many things, and I've been a little relaxed. One of the things that's happening is the if you go up Sunset Avenue, where Brielle Avenue hits it, okay? There's this tackle shop type place, okay, that they did a construction thing and even put in some trees and stuff.
Across
They're
from the
gonna put
water tower.
Yes,
Yeah, they're gonna put in, there's two properties actually that they're gonna do something. The property next to them, going back toward Rose Avenue, also has, I think it's been approved for a giant warehouse.
The luxury
Ah,
asset.
Yeah, yeah. It's-
Luxury warehouse, that's what they.
Yeah, luxury
Storage,
asset.
It is,
Come see my art collection.
it is,
It's that kind of thing.
it is, yes, that's, it's a new type of, is technically a self-storage facility. Because you were storing your own stuff, but I think, what was it? It's 1,800 square feet lofts with a half bath for each one. Yeah,
Mezzanines.
yes. Everyone has its own private generator. Yeah, it's,
Well,
yeah.
Point is, but
Upscale.
there's a bunch of trees coming out of there. So anyway, there's a bunch of trees on the downhill side, going down the hill toward the town's,
So we're talking about west of the fishing.
it'd be west of,
North.
no, it is the fishing place. The place that's on that corner.
Mhm.
yes,
Fisherman's
They have a
Eye.
lot of property to the west that's wooded.
to the west.
Sure.
To the west.
They're gonna take, right, they're gonna
That
they're gonna
goes
leave some
towards-
trees there, but they're gonna put a big warehouse area there, and so on and so
No,
forth.
somebody said
Change
north.
their parking in the
Well,
front.
that's where the luxury storage is.
Yeah, the other place was when I was talking, was north of it. So this is going down the hill. So that's what that set of plans is. I've been a little lax. Oddly enough, and I'm not sure, I wanted to find out what Jim Higgins is doing. They quoted, oddly enough, two ordinances that they applied to. One was the construction ordinance. The other was almost like the homeowner ordinance, the tree preservation ordinance, which involved how big of trees you put in and all that sort of stuff, and a table and all that sort of stuff, which is nice, but it really doesn't apply to them.
But let's not stop them from doing it.
Don't tell them that.
No, so, well, the point is though, but then that's, the question is, what do we say? Because usually Jim is very good at what ordinances apply and don't apply and so on and so forth. So that's why I haven't put in the plan yet. It's supposed to be heard in February sometime, so I'm not sure what's going on.
Is it going to planning or zoning?
So I was just gonna look at it. It says planning board application, it says, on this thing here. So the planning board, unless it changed.
I don't, I haven't seen the agenda for this month
I'm
yet.
right here.
Yeah, the property's called,
Fisherman's
the Leon
Oh,
Properties,
so
is what the name of the applicant is.
What is it?
Leone,
it's like all, so it's
Okay.
this square and then.
for 3501 Sunset Avenue. Okay, so anyway, so that's the only thing right now that.
So that's between Fisherman's Source and the, town recycling center.
Yeah, no, but it's not between them, no, it's their property. This property is
I didn't
Fisherman's.
say it.
It's not between, but building wise, they're gonna go about past their building. And they're gonna still be.
You're both right. You're both right.
Is it
It's
west of
okay.
the building? Yes.
Yes, it is.
I don't care who owns the property, I'm just trying to locate it.
No, but it's the same property, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I heard, so whatever happened briefly, were the billboards approved or denied? Did they ever come to a
As
resolution?
I understand what's happening is, they've been,
Thank you.
I don't know what's happening. I know at the first meeting they denied, so
Mm-hmm.
they're being denied. They're gonna sue on the free speech rules of some kind, okay? Which, the fact that you can put up a billboard is one thing. The fact that the billboard is gonna reach as high as the high tension lines, you know, those giant poles.
Yep. We've been over this.
Okay, the fact that they're gonna go up there so high
Yeah.
should have nothing to do
Just
with
answer the
it.
question.
Wait, so they're in litigation.
I don't know what's happened yet.
Okay.
So I honestly don't know.
All right. And I understand that the
Your
church
mother might
on
know.
66 was approved.
Diane is my aunt.
What's your aunt?
Yes.
Well, she might know.
I will check with her. She's been,
I've actually
Following
called
that
her
case.
in the past and told her about the meeting, but she may know.
yeah.
And I understand
She's
the
good.
church on 66 was approved as well. The,
French Baptist.
Yeah.
French Baptist Church, yeah.
Well, Bill was talking about that at the Shade Tree Commission meeting.
Yes.
But there's a lot of trees, there, most of which are really garbage trees, and they plan on planting more trees, so it's not.
I don't know.
What's-
Listen, it has been a long time since I've seen a plan, but unless they change them drastically, I thought they were going to pave every inch of that lot.
No, but
So-
there's a border, around the border, there's a border that's gonna get a reasonable amount of trees
Okay.
put back in, as I understand it.
All right.
The lot itself is really mostly stuff that's just been there for 50 years, just growing up. You know, weedy stuff. I'm not saying it's not whatever it is, but
And Bill also mentioned that they will contribute to the tree fund, for the other trees that they don't plant.
Okay. I mean, don't really have a lot of other choice. I mean, I guess Sonnenberg could have given a
it's
waiver.
the weirdest kind of lot, because they got this dirt road next to it. It's very weird.
I don't know. And I also understand that there was an application on the lake in West Allenhurst that was denied.
The zoning board a few
The
weeks
zoning
ago.
board denied that one
Yeah.
too. Yeah. Zoning board's been denying things.
What did they want it, what kind of a thing was going on?
I don't remember the exact details, but I think the short version of it was that they have a really tiny lot that fronts on Deal Lake and they wanted to make it a much larger house. So less, I think they wanted to exceed lot coverage, which is, I mean, it's like everything in West Allenhurst, but
Or South Monmouth Drive, that whole section.
so,
I think Mary was, trying to text you something.
I do not have
All
anything.
right, let me look. Somebody, she's just talking into her phone.
My recollection is on the
No.
first meeting for the billboards, about the
Like she's
third
someone
word,
in a fish-
words,
she's like
not
she's in a
words.
fishbowl.
First Amendment.
Yeah.
I mean, they
Text her, email.
designed it so that there's no light spill. So, I mean, they've taken that whole piece out of the billboard equation. That's one of the
Aren't they electronic billboards?
They are, but they've got, see, it's been designed to the point where if you're 40 degrees off of direct on, you
Mhm.
can't see a thing.
Okay.
Sit on the ground under the billboard and look up and you won't see it. You'll see the billboard, but you won't see the light.
Some of the aspects of the technology of it are bad, just the massiveness of it.
Scale.
You know where the Ocean Township Porta Potty is?
The other issue is the light pollution.
Right,
Even
right next to,
even
right
with
north
the,
of Ocean
even with
Township,
the,
which is where they
even
want
with
to
the
put
narrow viewing angles, like
the
the
building
amount of
right
light
next to
pollution
that.
that
used to be
I
the
know,
building.
I know.
The
Norm.
whole rest of the building is the size of the building.
I know. You've told us at every meeting for 6 months.
Still true.
It's capped too, so it doesn't go up.
Okay. All right.
But
Moving
still.
along.
And there's, theoretically, there's something in there that cuts the light level.
Well, down at night, it has a sensor, because you don't need the brightness at night.
Okay.
Anyway,
Anything else? Or am I forgetting anything else for planning board to update?
I was absent last week, whatever that meeting was.
Again, and we just,
We didn't really do much, we just said,
December.
Well, what's the
Yeah.
lollipop
Yeah.
con committee report?
well, let's not get on the agenda, Norm. You're jumping ahead, and we'll get to it in a
Oh,
moment.
planning
But
board.
Jack has
Oh,
a green
no.
team report
I'm
first.
like,
So,
wait, what? On
Jack.
that?
Yeah.
Oh, the blue team.
Yeah.
Greenfest planning has slowly started to be undertaken.
Okay. When is the date for Greenfest this year?
May the 4th be with you.
All right.
Oh.
Okay.
So it is marked on Mike's calendar, Mike Patrico.
Okay.
And as soon as we get all of our T's and I's, or our T's crossed and our I's dotted, we'll send them the final okay, and we're gonna go forward that date. The idea is to really tie it together with the 5K.
Mhm.
So Tim's been, going through all that and trying to get his ducks in a row for that date. And that's kind of just what I'm waiting on to get everything lined up.
Okay. Is it going to be at the library again?
But I think we're gonna move it back to the field at the park.
Okay.
And yeah, so if anyone wants to help organize and call vendors and do all the fun stuff of putting on a big festival,
Any questions for Jack?
I have a comment, but I gotta just look up one thing. May the 4th, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's a national holiday for a certain portion of the population.
Sci-fi.
The people who don't like Star Trek.
The people who are less likely to be out in nature, who will be at home having a film marathon.
No, I'm looking because it turns out
Yeah, they were
Earth Day is the 22nd, and Arbor Day is the 25th, I think, Friday.
Okay.
The birthday. And I was thinking of having the tree, the two things with the tree giveaways that we've had, right?
Mhm.
One, for 10 years, they had these free trees that came through the Arbor Day Foundation. That project's dead. Okay. And then the state last year killed the free trees for third graders. Okay. So we got the free trees. We gave out, and we also then we bought trees for the third graders. Okay. So, and I was thinking with the 25th, so the week before Green Fest would be the likely day. Now, it all depends who we're getting them from, because the state, I'm not sure what the rules are yet. They're giving trees out again they're making trees fill in tubelings again. Okay.
Seedlings?
You know, the state, and they're gonna have state seedlings, but we don't know what that list is gonna be yet, so on and so forth. However, the ones I got for the third graders was some nursery I found in South Jersey that actually it's actually cheaper even, I think, than the thing made. And I wasn't even around, but they mailed them to Pat Sullivan at the high school, you know, and he got them out to the school. So the Hello School was Passover, so they didn't get anything. So then they get third and fourth grader trees this year, catch up.
Okay.
So, but we're gonna have to, at some point, we're gonna have to pay for those things. Historically, actually, the third grade trees were always a shade tree commission, an environmental commission thing that we did. And the other ones became the shade tree commission, the little thing. But either way. So I thought I'd at least mention it. Now, it's possible, when I look into some more of this stuff, maybe, I haven't picked a date yet, I haven't spoken to Mike Patrico yet. But it's only a week later that you're gonna be doing Green Fest, which is a good tie-in, you know, if we can make that happen. So I'll have to find out what the rules are and when I can get the trees and how long to keep in the trees, you know, because it goes out. Like this nursery we got them from, after a certain point, they start planting all those trees that they didn't sell us. As an example, so on and so forth, in the fields. So we'll have to,
Would it
we'll
make
have to
sense,
see how
would
that plays out.
it make sense to put the two together?
Well, it would, but I may have a timetable for availability, so, but I don't know if he wants to move up. But Green Fest really right after Earth Day is probably as good a time as anything else.
Well, we're also limited by other things in the calendar, like Tim has to get certain things on different, like he has to get a timing company for the 5K, and they're only available on certain days. The next weekend is Mother's Day, and he said that the weekend after, the company's not available, so we have to do it either May 4th or the weekend, and the weekend before is April.
Yeah, and
No, I understand.
Passover and Easter are both late this
Yeah,
year.
exactly.
They're really late this year.
So people may still be coming back from vacation.
Yeah.
Oh, Rick Passover was earlier than this.
No, it's
It's earlier than Easter, and
it's slightly earlier than last year.
spring break is
Late.
probably gonna be all during Passover and it'll end on
Because-
Easter.
Because it
Easter
was
Monday.
Passover when it was Earth Day.
So Passover ends on Easter Sunday, 20th.
Yeah, so they're pretty late.
So like, you know, theoretically we could have Green Fest on the 27th, but you know,
But you're having it on May 4th.
but we're having it on May 4th.
May 4th.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't say change it, but if, to give the tree giveaway could be together, put the two projects.
I'm just trying to do some research now on the timing of that. You know, it's possible that the Arbor Day one was a whole big thing, you know. I mean, a foundation, that's not happening. They had delivered, they were, you know, so I don't know how many of the trees they're growing now and so on and so forth. Last year they did, the state nursery themselves didn't grow that many. And so I'll have to see. I'll talk to the Southern Nursery also. So I'll try and record it. If we could do it that same weekend, it probably would be okay.
All right, moving along.
All right, Lollipop Pond. You are familiar where Lollipop Pond is, right, Norm?
I am.
Yeah. So there's a Lollipop Pond committee. Myself, Julia, is a member, is chaired by Mike Paludis down in Wanamassa. There has been an attempt to revive existing trails that have been back there for a number of years. A lot of this was precipitated by the closure of the dam or weir, whatever you want to call it, that crossed Lollipop Pond that people used to get from one side of Wanamassa to the other side of Wanamassa. I used it quite frequently on my way to the stores that are over there. One may have been more favored than others.
In general, right?
Yes, of course. Andrew knows me so well. There has been funding that our members of the legislature have gotten to replace that, to replace it with a bridge. I do not know the status of that. I know that we've secured the funding. I don't know when construction is supposed to start. The last activity the Lollipop Pond Committee had was in the fall. There was a cleanup. And I know that talking to Mike recently, we're going to try and get together soon for another spring cleanup and hopefully.
But wouldn't they want to dredge all that other stuff out of there before they do anything else?
For a bridge?
But you're gonna have to start going back and forth the whole thing. You don't have
I think we should just let the engineers handle it.
No, I'm just saying, they may.
I mean, there's two, again, if you've been back there, so Lollipop Pond is almost at like two different levels, right? There's the lower pond, which is the big one that you see if you're driving on Wickapico, right? And it's over there. Then there's the upper one, which depending on who you ask, at one point in the not so distant past was over 6 feet deep and you could go swimming in it. And now it's a marsh, and that's being kind. It's just wet leaves there is a defined bed and bank for a stream that goes through it, but it's just wet. So I don't know what the plan for the dredging is. I don't know if they're only going to do the lower part because there's parts of it that are being sedimented in again because of what happened up on hill. But I don't know if they're going to do the dredging of both the lower and the upper. Karen?
What about the condition of the walking trails all the way around?
That's still, they're still working on that. There's part of it needs an LOI from DEP. Part of it is still inaccessible, especially as you get further to the west, closer to Dave DeRouge, and some of them, those.
What about the fence? Wasn't there fencing there?
But that's what I'm saying. The fencing got put up to block people from crossing the weir.
No, I thought private property owners put.
Oh, yeah, there was a fence that got moved back because it was in the middle of the paper street. Yep, and that was addressed. So yeah, it's just kind of rolling along back there. There's a lot of, one of the things that as you start getting through and diving deep into this is there's a lot of easements that haven't been tracked over the years, and people kind of know where there's easements and kind of think there might be easements, and there may or may not be any easements. But there is a sewage easement back there, which is, I guess, one of the, it guides a lot of the thought process because the town owns those in the paper street. So anyways, stay tuned.
It's no lollipop.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, any other questions on that? All right, so here my chairman's report. I'm sure that you were all avid news devourers, and you may have seen that there are some federal funding cuts being proposed to a number of various projects. What happens with those cuts remains to be seen, but a lot of the cuts that are proposing get trickled down through block grants to the state, and they trickle down to both nonprofits and governmental entities ahead of time. Historically, this environmental commission has gotten grants for a number of different projects, some small, some large, and we also, like we just mentioned, have gotten funds for infrastructure projects, dredging, bridges, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We don't know what's going to happen with those funds. So the ability to do bigger projects, both for us as the environmental commission or the town as a larger entity, might be hindered. So I think just keep in mind as we go forward that whatever projects we are proposing, we need to be mindful that there might not be any dollars available anywhere to get them done. We're seeing it more at the statewide nonprofit level. A lot of the funds there for groups that have been acting as pass-throughs is drying up, and it was drying up before the recent round of funding cuts. People are reprioritizing how they're getting funded. A number of the big philanthropies that have done environmental funding in the state of New Jersey have shifted their focus and moved away. Dodge Foundation being one of them, Victoria Foundation being another. They're just changing their funding priority. So it's not a great time to be trying to find money for environmental work, but the work needs to be done. So we'll keep plugging at it. And that is all I have. Such an uplifting way to end the report. Members of the public, comments, questions, concerns?
I just came by to see what y'all do.
What do we do, folks?
Save the environment.
Yeah.
What's new with the town board?
I have heard nothing.
Because I thought I saw something posted somewhere. that
Donna?
That the council was asking someone to look at eminent domain.
Oh, that's a
Or
different
That's a
topic.
different thing.
Oh, that's a totally
That's a whole
different
nother
topic.
But I thought that was related to the town hall.
It was not related to town hall. The short version of that, actually, this is something the planning board is somewhat involved in. The council has asked the planning board to conduct a study to determine if Orchard Plaza is an area in need of redevelopment. And they are doing that through the condemnation option, which does not mean that the town is going to use condemnation, but it is an option that they are keeping on the
Are there
table.
any businesses still open in there?
Yes.
Yes,
Can't be too many, right?
there are a few, but there are a lot of vacancies. Anyways, so just so you understand how the process goes, the council tasks the planning board with doing a study. The planning board conducts the study. They submit their findings back to the council, and then the council makes the determinations. The planning board has nothing to do with whether or not they condemn it or anything like that. Our job is, and it's very prescribed by law, there is a very narrow box in which the study can be conducted and what we can say is or is not the state of things. So that process is rolling along. But no, last I heard was that they were going to have a special meeting in January to discuss the town hall, but I don't think that ever happened. Did it?
Got canceled.
Got canceled.
Well, because they had to fill the vacancy.
Right. Yeah. So I have heard nothing.
Stay tuned.
Yep.
Well, I have one question. Are those buckets that were given out for the plastic film recycling?
Mhm.
Is that program gonna just go on forever?
No, it was a 1-year pilot, and then the town had to decide if it was worth doing. I have not heard an update of that, but I have found other people's buckets have blown into my yard.
Like stuff.
I think it kept rolling. I saw it, and then I went.
There's a lot of stuff with that plastic, doesn't exactly keep it down.
No, it does not.
Yeah, that's not the ideal.
I actually met the guy in front of my house who was doing it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what though, you can really fill one of those up.
Yeah.
I mean, my gosh, I never realized how much of
If you
that.
get the air out of that plastic.
I know, I realize that, but I'm saying there's a lot of things that can go in that bucket.
That's what I'm saying. Had this big pile of them, it was all done.
Right.
Plenty of space left in the.
They just need a little
Everybody
weight
here-
at the bottom.
Everybody here familiar with that program?
Yeah, we had
No,
someone.
I'm just making
Yeah.
sure.
They
Yeah.
should have had lids or something.
Yes.
Yes.
It's just too, and it always rains.
Or a
Right.
weighted,
Seems
or a
like
weighted
every
bottom,
time. Yeah,
or,
something.
or
Yeah.
holes in the bottom so the water leaks out.
You mean like the recycling buckets we did so many years ago?
Flashbacks.
Oh, actually, speaking of, I don't know if anyone has seen this. Was it? It might have been the New York Times. I don't remember this. I read about a new technology for at-home food waste recycling, not composting. They are recycling. They are food dehydrators. Have you seen this?
I think the machine is about $1,000.
Yeah, but apparently it's a dehydrator and a crusher, right? So it takes all of the food, it sucks enough moisture out of them so they will no longer rot. Think about like, your dried fruits or whatever for decorations. It takes it desiccates them and then grinds them up so that you have like, it's almost like a sandy texture. But depending on what it is, it may or may not be viable for composting because it's not designed to create compost. It's designed to
Where's the
recycle. They
It evaporates,
Evaporates,
because it's
yeah.
put in, it takes a tremendous amount of electricity, because I make apple rings,
Mhm.
and my electric bill's always higher the month I do a lot of apple rings.
Huh.
Yeah,
What
because
do
it
you-
stays on for
Because
hours. and
it's a
hours.
heating unit that, and a fan that's staying on for 24, 36 hours at a time.
I think the New York Times did a review of the machine and this is
I have a hair dryer on 24 hours a day.
What do you do with the waste that comes out of it? You just throw it in the garbage?
What's the reason?
I don't know.
Pellets and burn in your fireplace.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was really fascinating because I know that this is a perennial topic for us for food waste and what to do with
Well,
it.
it's in the city.
So, anyways, all right. Does anyone have anything else for this meeting?
The super storage place with the individual generators.
Mhm.
I mean, what's the purpose of having individual generators?
They're individual backup generators.
But if
Just
the power in the building goes out, why don't they just have one generator instead of running 18 generators and save?
They're fee simple,
No,
so like you
no,
own the
because the
unit.
company is selling, the company's not spending any money on power. I'll bet they all have their separate, they all have a separate electric
I'm
meter.
just thinking of the additional
Yeah,
air
exactly,
pollution.
because you buy the unit, they're like $600,000.
That's what I'm saying, you buy the unit and you've got the electric bill, so the guy who's building this thing is not gonna have, it's gonna.
And you might wanna keep your wine chilled at a specific temperature, you don't wanna take the, electricity,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I got to tell you, as a concept, right? I find it fascinating because I think it is in fact self-storage, but I think that it falls in that gap. The way that those were, I think that the town and other towns need to really consider creating a specific ordinance to address that specific use.
Let's face it, this country is heading to that way because it's designed for the rich to get richer, right? And they've gotta do something with all that extra tax.
Might be time to adjourn.
It is time, in fact.
Yes.
Do I have a motion to adjourn? Motion, second. All right.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Get your ear
I will
out.
see you all 6 p.m. on the 25th. We'll figure out where.